right in front of a food plot we planted, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. This has the deer greens mix in it from Hancock Seed Company. Then we have 2 others that throughout this video you guys will see them too, and they were both planted with fall and winter mix, food plot mix. But we just kind of want to show you guys throughout this little episode that you don't have to have big equipment. We don't have big equipment to do this. You can rent it, you can rent stuff, you can borrow stuff from people, and we've done that before. But we kind of wanted to just prove that you don't really have to have all that stuff. You can put in really effective, pretty large plots. I mean, we have 30 acres here, a little over 30 acres that on this lease, on this farm, and we have a total of 6 plots in it. 3 clover, killer clover mix from Hancock Seed, and now 3 other plots in it, and probably a total of 4, maybe even 5 acres of total food for the deer and a lot of bedding. So you can really, if you're willing to put in the work, I mean, you can definitely get the deer to come. We have a huge number of does using this area now, so I know come late October, early November, we should have quite a few bucks showing up, hopefully. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy this episode, and maybe we can teach you a little something that we know and that we've learned over the past few years, and who knows, maybe even kill a deer off of here and maybe help you guys kill a deer off your place. So alright guys, we're fixing to plant a plot here. It's a plot Logan actually finished working up today. I had it worked up a couple days ago, but we decided, I fertilized it that day too and limed it, but I decided not to plant because we had a lot of rain in the forecast, and it's a good thing we didn't because we got about 3.5 inches. So it probably would have washed all of our seed down, so we're thankful we didn't plant. But we're going to be putting in some Hancock Seed Company. This is their deer green mix, and it's got, I'll read off what it has in here. It has purple top turnips, the Bayou kale, trophy rape, and daikon radish. So this little plot right here, it should really work very well for that. It's kind of in the brush and everything, and we've limed it quite a bit, so these types of plants should really take to that lime. And I'm actually going to top seed it too with a little bit more of a daikon radish on top. We found out last year the deer in our area just destroy the radishes, so that's definitely what we're going to lean to mixed with this, and with the deer green mixing it, it should do amazing. But anyway, we'll plant this whole bag here. It does 15,000 square foot. That is a cool thing about their packaging. And this is about 14,000, give or take a little. So I'm a firm believer, especially with a broadcaster. If you're broadcasting seed and not drilling it, I would highly recommend to overseed just a little bit. It never hurts, because between birds picking up seed and rain runoff, you're going to lose a little bit of seed, but it's always best to kind of go on the safe side. So anyway, we'll do this whole bag of this, and probably a pound, we may go 2 or 3 pounds of the just straight daikon radish. So we're going to get after it and start cranking. So here we go. We got it seeded. Pretty much all we have to wait on now, we do have a couple days of rain forecasted. I think tomorrow night and maybe the next night. So it should be perfect right now. I mean, like I said earlier, we had 3.5 inches of rain yesterday. So this ground, luckily, Logan was able to come in here and break it up again. And the reason we did that, that much rain just packed it down real hard. So really, any more rain that we got, if we'd have put seed on top of that, it would just washed off anyways, and very little of it would have stuck. So right now, with the roughed up soil, the way it is right now, it should just lock the seeds in as soon as we get a rain. We considered taking a drag over it behind the four-wheeler, but I don't really think it's going to be necessary, really. But this is the top end of the food plot. I don't know, hopefully this year we should hopefully kill a couple doe out of here at least, and you know, hopefully a big deer, hopefully a big buck, but who knows. That's going to be the tree stand tree back there, and that butts right into just across. That was an old fence gap right there that we cleaned out, and we basically connected this plot with that one that is in the killer clover mix from Hancock Seed Company. We planted that earlier in the spring, and it's doing really good. We need to go back in and mow it one more time, and it should really take off with these cool temperatures. So anyway, we're kind of taking advantage of this August rain, real rainy season we're having here in August, which is really strange for us in Kansas, but we'll take it. So okay guys, we're back out here again, doing another plot this evening. This is one that pretty much all the plots on this property I worked up, I guess it'd be 3 days, maybe 4 days ago now. But we decided not to plant. I went ahead and fertilized and limed the plots, but we did not plant just because we knew we had a huge chance of a lot of rain coming. I mean, it would have been perfect. It would have been if it was like an inch of rain, but we ended up getting 3.5 inches. So really good thing we didn't plant, especially this plot, because it does have kind of a bowl in it. We call this the L plot. It's about, I don't know, 30 yards wide pretty much the whole way through it, and it runs about 150 yards long, and then it jogs back to the east for about another 70 yards. So I mean, we're pushing that 3/4 of an acre, maybe an acre plot here. But back this way, we have a stand back in this back end of it, and all that is Hancock Seed Company. That's all their killer clover mix is all through that area and all the way back where L's back in there. So what we decided to do is we decided to have a little bit of diversity in this plot, and we came in and we sprayed down a line of it, and to kill some of the clover wasn't real thick right in there, just because whenever we planted we got a lot of rain, and it kind of washed some of the seed out, and then it washed it back in. There's really thick clover back in that area, so that's a good thing. But I don't know, it'll be a pretty cool looking plot. So anyway, we came back in here, and we're gonna have probably a 1/4 acre or so, maybe a little over, of we're just gonna make our own custom mix. First we're gonna use the Hancock Seed Company, their fall and winter food plot mix. And guys, this has a ton of stuff in it. I mean, I'll just read off the ingredients here. I mean, it's got grain rye, coker oats, Austrian winter peas, purple top turnips, Dixie crimson clover, chicory, a little bit of your daikon radishes, daikon radishes really worked very well for us in the past, and it has a little bit of sugar beets in it too, which we've also planted some of those last year actually. But anyway, we'll mix this. This only covers 5,000 square foot, so you know we've got to probably, I'm guessing 15 to 20,000 square foot that we've got to cover here. So we've got to plant quite a bit of seed. So we'll come back in and plant a few pounds of the daikon radish. But anyway, and then after we get done with that, we're gonna, in the top end of this plot, we're just gonna set a little Radix camera on a time lapse, and just kind of get an idea of how fast these plots come up and what deer are using them. Hopefully we get some good bucks in here using this stuff, especially later this fall. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. But anyway, I'm gonna shut up and get real busy on spreading some seed here. We just got all the seeds spread, the daikon radish and the fall and winter mix from Hancock Seed Company. So I don't know, just a few weeks and everything should be coming up pretty good, and hopefully we can get a good inventory. I mean, our deer season, our early season is probably, I don't know, it's maybe 4 weeks, probably 5 weeks away. So just over a month, and we should be sitting in a tree stand here pretty shortly. So hopefully we can, you know, at least with all this management that we're doing, it is drawing. We're seeing a lot of deer, you know, a lot of does anyway, and young bucks every night. And typically this little place here, this little spot, it's only 30 acres, but it sets up perfect for you know, a rut hunt. I mean, it sets up perfect for that. And we get a lot of, we let the does stay around here. We kind of have sanctuaries all over the place. It's just super thick. So rut hunts are really good here, and we're looking forward to that. But I'm gonna go ahead and set this little Radix camera on a time lapse and just kind of see how this stuff grows and the progress that it makes. And this is really poor soil, so I want to kind of point that out. I mean, it looks good right now, but it's wet. I mean, it's only 2 days after a really hard rain, so it's really dark looking, but it really dries out. It's real poor soil down in this little bottom for some reason. But the further down there you get, the better it gets. So I don't know, it'll be pretty interesting to just see what this seed does here, and we'll see what happens. Alright guys, we're out here fixing to do a burn on this food plot. We sprayed it, cut and sprayed it probably a week ago, and it's pretty well dead, but now we're in a race against time, against a rainstorm, which is pretty crazy for the middle of August. So we're going to at least try to get the back burn burned for, if we don't get the whole thing burned, we'll at least have a fire break burned out. So anyway, we're going to get after it.
Out here again, guys, on a brand new food plot. We had started burning it a few days ago, but we got rained out, and there's another storm system heading this way, so we're gonna jump on it and hurry and get it burned.
Got it finished up. As Logan said earlier, we basically got rained out a few days ago, so we had to come back in and get a good burn on it, and we really did. I mean, it's pretty much down to bare dirt everywhere. There's a few patches of dead grass here and there, but we can just come back in and light spot fires over that. But burned really well. It was a really well controlled fire. Didn't have any outbreaks of it or anything, and we've had bad experiences of that before. And that's a little tip I want to point out. Whenever you do one of these, make sure you light a backfire, and a lot of people know what that means, but to those who don't, that means you burn into the wind, burn it backwards onto itself, so it's burning real slow, and you beat out the fire that goes with the wind, and then you can come back from the opposite side and light a head fire, and that they'll meet up, and it burns real quick, but it's also contained. So because you do not want it catching into stuff like that, and even though that's very green, and we've had probably 6 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks, that stuff will still ignite. So just a little tip just to keep in mind. But this is ready. We'll probably in the next day or two probably come in here and plow this up, get the soil kicked up a little bit, and come in and fertilize, lime it, and put down seed. So we'll be ready, and it'll be ready for deer. should be the last day we're in on this plot actually until deer season comes around, which is now only 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away maybe. But yesterday we were in here and we did a good burn. My mom, dad, Logan, and me, we all got a really good burn on this. It's probably roughly a 1/4 acre, I'd say, maybe a little under. Just it's kind of on top of this ridge, so we have decent soil up here. It is kind of rocky in places, but we came in here this morning, limed and fertilized it, and then we worked it all in with a disc. And anyway, on this one, we're gonna put a Hancock Fall and Winter Wildlife mixture on here. And I mean, you guys can see all the ingredients that are in that. We planted this on one other plot, just actually 100 yards from here or so. But this one, it's on a travel route, so here in southeast Kansas we call them hedgerows. Basically, it's lines of Osage orange trees that the deer, I mean, they love to follow them, especially during the rut. So anyway, it's quite a few decent trees in here that we can clean out and put a stand in if we need to. So we had a good friend of ours loan us this spreader, ATV spreader, and this morning it came in handy because about 2 weeks ago or so, whenever we were planting all the other plots, we put in almost 1,000 pounds of fertilizer with a hand spreader, and that I had blisters on my hands for a few days, I promise you that. So this is definitely a blessing right here, so big shout out to them. But anyway, we're gonna put that seed in there and set the spread speed, and we'll get after it.